Welcome to Movie Friends. We are your hosts, Seth and Michelle, and today we're talking about Home Alone from 1990. Directed by Chris Columbus, written by John Hughes, edited by Raja Gosnell, cinematography by Julio Macat, composed by the great John Williams. Starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara, John Hurd, and Roberts Blossom. Michelle, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Seth.
How's it going?
We're here. It's the holidays. Your favorite time of year.
It is the holidays. What's that song? We need a little Christmas right this very minute.
We need a little Christmas right this very minute.
Yeah, that's never me.
Yeah. Right.
We need less Christmas right this very minute. Anyway, we're starting our Home for the Holidays series. We've got a cool guest for this episode.
She's all right.
Oh my gosh. But before we get into that, we had a couple emails about our Spinal Tap episode.
Did the people like it, Seth?
I'm still waiting for a letter from the people, just as as a group.
They should all get together, write it, and then sign it.
I agree. Our
Right?
listeners need to be more organized.
I agree.
So we got an email from Brian.
Ryan?
He's the co-host of What a Picture with his wife Hannah. He says, "Hi, movie friends. Loved the Spinal Tap episode. Just wanted to let you know that after I finished the episode, I queued up the Albert Brooks film Real Life. And who should appear in the credits but our friend and walking pun, Harry Shearer. What a coincidence."
It still gets me, Seth. It still gets me.
And I'm glad that Brian brought this up because we didn't really mention... Now, we didn't make this claim, but I still meant to mention it. A lot of people say, oh, Spinal Tap is the first, mockumentary. It's not. And I don't even know that I can definitely say that Real Life is, but Real Life came out in 1979, directed by Albert Brooks. And I'll just read you the description. A pushy, narcissistic filmmaker persuades a Phoenix family to let him and his crew film their everyday lives in the manner of the groundbreaking PBS series An American Family.
This was done in the style of a mockumentary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And so this predates Spinal Tap by 5 years and also includes Harry Shearer.
But also the concept is so reality TV today.
Yeah.
Wow. I should watch that.
So thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Say hi to Hannah.
Yeah, we want to hear from Hannah. You know, I heard a little birdie told me, and by a little birdie, I mean Brian.
Brian the birdie.
I'm going to start calling him the little birdie.
I like that.
All right, Brian the birdie. He said that she was excited for, I think, our Josie and the Pussycats episode. And I said, I need to hear from her. And we didn't. And so, we're calling you out.
We just want to hear from you, Hannah. Just send us an email with a wave emoji.
Yeah. What, you just want a proof of life?
Yeah, I want a proof of life.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. We also got an email from Ben, and he's got a bombshell here.
Uh-oh. In a good way or a bad way?
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay.
He says, I have a Kate Hudson story from work.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is in response.
Okay.
Now, this is getting into some deep, tangled movie friends lore here. Our other friend Betsy sent us an email that she had a Kate Hudson encounter that was not very nice.
Right.
So this is Kate Hudson evidence for the people's case against Kate Hudson. Number 2.
Okay.
So he says, I have a Kate Hudson story from work. She was in the pool with friends, and she was kind of rude. And then he sends 2 sad emojis.
Wait, that's it?
Bullet point Ben strikes again.
Ben, that gives us nothing.
He then says, I need Spike Lee Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
The script fact was wild. And I think he's referring to that the Spinal Tap script was 12 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
Seth trying to read song lyrics might be the funniest thing on this podcast to date. P.S. Felicia with the fire comment. P.S.S. I also stayed away from this for a while because of the obnoxious fan base. P.S.S.S. A slight exhale of air might be my new go-to review. And then P with 4 S's, 4-star schmovie.
Ben, this is actually a question for you because I was going to ask it to Seth and then it was going to be like a rhetorical question. But do you take notes while you're listening?
He probably just jots as he listens. Yeah.
Yeah. Very impressed. But also your Kate Hudson story is lacking.
We have homework. We want to hear from Little Bird Brian's wife, Hannah. And
just a wave emoji.
We want
that's it.
More info on this Kate Hudson thing. And as we should say, of course, this is all alleged information. We cannot confirm that Kate Hudson might not be the nicest person in real life.
We cannot confirm that she's rude when in a pool.
Or in a hotel hallway. But, I mean, in her defense, if I were to be a guarded celebrity, it would perhaps be in a pool and in a hotel hallway.
Correct.
Vulnerable spots.
I know. Here we are defending Kate again.
A hotel hallway is the scariest place on earth to be.
Hotel hallways.
They're so long. Yeah. You can run down them, and anyone can open any door on either side of you and just pull you right in.
Right, and it's just a passageway to get to. It's a three-way to get to where you're going. It's not like a place where you're like stopping and smiling and being like you're focused.
Yeah. Our live show is now 1 month away, so if you haven't made your travel plans, last chance.
Oh my gosh!
Not really.
Come join us.
You can decide the day before. Just get in your car and drive.
Right. If you're like, I want to be spontaneous this weekend, our show is the perfect event to attend.
Because it's free.
For spontaneity.
It ain't going to sell out.
That's for shit, sure.
So as I said earlier, we have a guest for this episode, and it is Michelle's sister, Samuel.
As I call her.
And I thought that this conversation was a lot of fun. We pre-recorded this. This whole month, by the way, is just going to be me trying to remember when things were because we're recording everything. Like, I have 2 other episodes. We have 2 other episodes done. 3 at this point? I don't know, man.
I have no idea. So
I don't know.
I can't keep track. I'm all messed up, too.
Michelle texted me last night. She was like, wait, which episode is coming out last of the month? And because I had said it, and then I was like, oh, I actually have no idea. So... This month is confused for the holidays. But Michelle's sister Sam joined us to talk Home Alone, and it was a lot of fun. So
she did good. She did good.
Yeah. She held in her inner Kevin McCallister.
Yeah. She was a little reserved.
You think so?
Just trying to tie it back to Kate Hudson. Oh.
Okay. So let's go over to that conversation. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Seth.
Merry Christmas.
Almost.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Seth.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Samuel.
Hello. Mitchell. Salutations.
Salutations.
I'm in a Reuben sandwich.
That's correct.
That's correct.
A Ruby sandwich.
Yeah.
So does that make me the fatty meat in the middle?
That's correct.
It's the best place to be.
That you are the fatty meat of the Reuben, Seth.
So who's the sauerkraut?
I'll be the sauerkraut.
I like sauerkraut.
I love sauerkraut.
Aren't you the bread?
Yeah, but I'm going to add another layer to myself.
Okay. Sure. It's sticking to that side of the sandwich. I get it.
Correct. Correct.
And then you would be the Thousand Island.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, this is off to a great start.
I'm glad we figured that out.
We're all pleased.
How do you feel about Christmas?
Can you be more specific?
Just it existing, you celebrating. What do you think?
I think I notice a definite change in people's patience, not patience, but their mood and their spirits.
Okay.
Like within a week, people just seem brighter generally, right? They seem cheerful, a little bit more aware because there's things to stop and look at, typically with lights and decorations. But I also think of people who may not be loving this time of year. So I feel like it's very dichotomous for me. I feel really excited for the lights and Owen's first Christmas, but then I think of people who are maybe not feeling so good about Christmas. So I think of that too.
Michelle, what about
you? My first thought was just when I think of Christmas and growing up with Christmas, I think of childhood. and nostalgia. And like Sam and I were obsessed with Christmas.
Yes.
Like we would dance around to Christmas music. Or Thanksgiving ended, we were begging my mom to decorate.
Yes.
We were listening to Christmas music like nonstop, putting on performances. Christmas is magical.
Yeah.
I love Christmas.
That's good. That's good.
Seth?
Yeah, I feel like you're...
Well, I have to say, like, the way you've talked about the Vargas Christmas household, like, makes me want to be a part of that.
Go on.
Okay, yeah. So our Christmas is like, it's a little wild. There's obviously tons and tons of people because I have 7 siblings, and we do stockings as like big shopping bags or boxes. And usually how it works is they'll just like pull something out and then like throw things around the room.
What?
Yeah.
Right?
They'll be like, who wants a Toblerone? Who wants a Toblerone? And then like a lot of things are thrown. And then throughout the year, my mom's big into like thrift stores. So she'll be like, I found this George Foreman grill, new in the box. Who wants it? Who wants it? And you have to be like, me. And then, yeah.
That's
so it's a lot
fun.
of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Christmas. I'm one of those people who like this time of year. You know what I feel like? I feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day, where you wake up and everyone is like, oh my gosh, are you going to go see the groundhog? Oh my gosh. Wow. Good morning. Wow. Isn't this great? And you're just like, I just want to punch everybody and everybody get out of my way. And when I forget that it's Christmas time and I'm like, oh, let me go to the mall and purchase a, package of underwear for myself
Right.
And then you get there and it's like, oh, that's right. It's Christmas.
There's 3,000 people. Yeah. Yes.
But
you're going to the mall.
I was like, you could probably purchase that online.
A package
Cyber
of
Mondays
underwear?
tomorrow.
I don't buy anything online if I don't have to.
What if you did an online order and then just pick up in the store?
You still have to park. You still have to walk through the throngs of idiots.
There are a lot of throngs of idiots.
There's a whole lot to unpack there, Seth. So we're gonna table that.
But I do have children,
continue.
And so I have to pretend. I have to pretend to like Christmas, and we do the cookies and the milk, and we do the drive around and look at lights, and after this, we're gonna decorate our tree, and I have to pretend because you can't be that guy. You can't be the Grinch. Only in your heart can you be the Grinch.
Sounds like you need to be visited by some ghosts of Christmas past.
Or like stockings of Christmas past. Somebody needs to launch stuff at you.
That's all I want. I just want things thrown at my face during this holiday.
Yeah.
But if you try real hard, you might get that at the mall.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys brought up childhood.
Yes.
And I don't really have a good segue for this, but have you guys ever seen a film from 1990 directed by Christopher Columbus starring Macaulay Culkin called Home Alone?
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
I vaguely may or may not have come across it in my 34 years of witnessing Christmas films.
Was this a big movie in the Rubenstein household?
It's an understatement.
It's ridiculous. It's like a religion.
Really, though.
Really?
Sam was so obsessed with this movie. My mom had to take the VHS away.
What?
And we used to call her Little Kevin because she would just repeat the lines. And my mom, and then at nursery school, she would repeat the lines and they'd call her Little Kevin, and the VHS was taken away from us.
Wow.
Not that Sam got violent with it.
No.
You never did the violent
not
things.
Not a violent child.
You would repeat a lot of his lines. Right.
There's profanities?
Like Merry Christmas, you filthy animal is not really a profanity, but my mom didn't otherwise want me going around like saying that to other 4-year-olds or like, what's the other? Or, his sister's like, when they're
Look
fighting.
What you did, you little jerk.
Right. Like that. Yeah. Should I congratulate him for being an idiot? Like there are just certain lines in the movie that you probably don't want like a preschooler saying.
And so she took it away, but like, since then, we constantly quote this movie like, Buzz, your girlfriend, woof. Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi. And then like, give it to Kevin, pass to Kevin.
We did that on Thanksgiving.
We did that on Thanksgiving.
Pass to Kevin, pass to Kevin, pass to
Kevin. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Yeah, as a kid, I knew 2 French phrases. One was from Home Alone, and the other was from the commercial for Muzzy.
Yeah!
Zizou la jouvie. What I did do in terms of profanities with this film was I was a big fan of walking around going, Russia, Russia, Russia. And I thought that was so funny. And I didn't realize until I was much older that adults don't curse like that.
Well, right. That was Joe Pesci trying to avoid cursing on set. And so he's just mumbling profanities.
Yes.
Yeah, because he wasn't supposed to curse.
I love that Joe Pesci is in this movie. I think that he is pretty amazing. This feels like stunt casting. He's in Goodfellas in 1990, the same exact year. His role in Goodfellas has gone down as like a pretty high watermark for psychopaths in film. And then you have the flip side of this where he's playing a devious guy, right? But he's not necessarily like a murderer until he's pushed very far and he tells Kevin he's going to bite all of his fingers off, which freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
This movie, I think, doesn't work without the Wet Bandits being funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you just make a movie about a kid who's alone and two scary guys are trying to get into the house, that becomes like a totally different movie. It becomes a lot. And as a kid, I was never scared watching this. Like I thought, oh, Kevin's got it. He's got his plan and, he's got all his booby traps. And so I was never afraid. I was more afraid, and this is the first person I want to talk about. I was more afraid of the old man Marley.
Old Man Marley?
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd you guys feel about Old Man Marley?
He is scary, right? And the way they shoot him and the perspective of him, it's always like this like anti view up of him. So he looks so much taller. Mm-hmm. He's always like has like that mean face. He's always wearing those black boots. And he's just always staring.
Yes.
And with a shovel. So yeah, he's pretty scary. And as a kid, I was a little frightened of him. Were you frightened of him, Sam?
Probably. I feel like I was more, I don't know, afraid of like what he was doing. Yeah, so probably. I was just wondering like why did he always have the shovel? He always had a scowl on his face. The music didn't help, right? There's all the theatrics.
Sam's terrified of Carol of the Bells.
I hate that song.
Really?
I hate that song. It gives me
she
angst.
Hates it.
Like when he's running from the church in this movie, I and it's playing, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much anxiety going on. We need to, like, I don't listen to it on the radio.
She refuses.
I don't like it.
Wow.
I'm working on it. It's a goal.
You should work on it. Exposure therapy, I think, is real.
It is real. It's a therapeutic goal. I listened to like 10 seconds of it.
Sweet gherkins my entire life. My wife currently eats sweet gherkins all day long. And you know what? I'm eating the gherkins.
Sweet gherkins.
Anyway.
Different exposure work.
So I think a good line that you can clearly put in the sand for your life is whether or not you think Old Man Marley is scary, or when you realize that he might be the nicest person in this entire film, because an old man at night for free is salting the sidewalks and shoveling the neighborhood.
Right.
What are you kidding me? I wouldn't do that if you paid me to do it. And he's just and they're like, look at that guy. He's crazy. He's doing free community service.
How dare him? Us and our M-printed doorknob. We don't care about that.
Right? That's the first time I noticed the doorknob has M.
Yes.
Gosh.
I want it. I want one so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I want a doorknob that has, which letter would we pick? It would have to be RV,
Do you have a name for your house?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that. Okay.
When I was a kid, I thought Old Man Marley was the oldest person that I had ever seen. When Kevin is in the store, we get all the shots of him. We get his boots, we get his hand, all these establishing shots. And then there's this big reveal of his face. And there's nothing, he's not scarred up, he's not bloody. It's just this guy's face. And it's used as a jump scare. Just how are you feeling if you're this guy?
I know.
They're not now you need to scowl or you need to be Arr. They're no, just look at him. That will be enough. That will be good.
Right.
Come to find out, the actor who plays Old Man Marley at the time of filming this movie was 64 years old.
He's a 90s 64, though.
Right. So he's like 77 now.
He's only 64. Both of my parents are well over the age of this man and look like Kevin's parents. You know, I mean, not quite, but.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah. So Old Man Marley, wow. They just found like the youngest old looking person. They're like, we need someone who looks like they're 1 foot in the grave, but can also do some physical stuff.
The conversation, though, that they have in the church.
Yeah.
Watching it as an adult, and today I was like, wow, this is like the best part of the film.
Yeah.
Talking about facing fears and what's important around the holidays.
Right.
And
even adults can be afraid.
Right. It's so good.
They really help each other like understand their perspective on things and feel joined.
Definitely.
But like, I was watching this, I'm like, why didn't he tell Old Man Marley? There's guys who are trying to rob my house.
Well,
I mean, if we like pick apart every... Well,
right, it wouldn't be a film.
Well, trust me, I'm going to. But I will say, Kevin's advice to Old Man Marley must have seeped its way into my brain, because that is my advice to everyone in every situation is just do it. Just try. And then you'll know. And then it won't be like, oh, well, what if. Just go for it. Reach out to the person. If they turn you down, guess what? You're already not talking to them. And so watching it today, I was like, oh my God, I stole everything that I know about life from Kevin McCallister.
Who didn't?
It's true.
So before we move on from Old Man Marley, I don't know if you guys can relate. I was so confused as a kid and didn't realize what was happening until like a few years ago when I watched it for the first time with my son. The end of this movie, Kevin goes to another house that's like flooding, and then Old Man Marley shows up. I remember being like, wait, why is his basement flooding? Like, I didn't put two and two together that he had like, even though he flies out of his window and clearly goes to another house, and then, you know, he makes the phone call. That whole thing had me so confused. Still, I don't really know how Marley just shows up not at Kevin's house.
Yeah, that is unclear to me. And I think in the past, I've always just brushed it off of like, oh yeah, this is how it works. But I never really thought about it. Mm-hmm. But the Murphys is the kid who, like, in the beginning, Mitch Murphy.
Oh my God.
Who's just like asking all the questions. Does this have 4-wheel drive? It's like, Mitch, get out of
I
here.
Don't know. Beat it, kid.
Right. So his house, and then they're the wet bandits, and so they flooded the house.
Yeah.
It's just like, it just worked so perfectly for Kevin.
It does make sense. All of the questions that you could have about this movie are answered, but you have to pay attention to every single thing that is said by everybody. Yes. And you have to like remember them all. Like when they're like, oh, your power went out, but the phone lines are going to be a mess. It's like, excuse me? People aren't going to be able to make phone calls for 3 days? I don't think so. Like,
and it's weird because everyone else on the block is able to make phone calls and their answering machines are working, but the McCallisters aren't.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first note that I took was this movie should be called Incredible Coincidences Over and Over and Over. Everything that happens in this, like when the wet bandits are robbing another house, that is when Dad McCallister just happens to leave a message on the machine. Hey, it's me. We're gone. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. You know, the wet bandits going through the back door where Kevin's posed up with his gun. Like,
yes.
I think that you can look at this two ways. You can look at it and say, this is such a well-written screenplay where everything is like buttoned up. But if you're me and you're like not having the greatest time, you're not having the greatest time. But anyway, speaking of age, Sam, do you know how old Catherine O'Hara was when she filmed this movie?
36.
How do you feel about being 2 years away from the mom in Home Alone? Do you feel that you could relate to her?
Not in like no way, other than I'd feel inherently guilty the rest of my life if I left my kid home.
Oh, I mean,
no, like she has like 5 kids. Did you start? When did you start?
Okay, but
how do you have that? What does your husband do?
Does she have 5 kids? I have no idea who these kids are. I have no.
Buzz, Kevin,
Megan, Linny, and Jeff.
Okay.
Because I looked it up.
So is
Kevin's
Big Pete
the youngest?
Is Big Pete a Kevin sibling?
No.
Okay.
Him and Fuller, I think, are siblings.
Fuller. What is that a nickname? No one's naming their kid Fuller.
They were just like, you know what? We need to have people think about this kid having a full bladder, so we'll call him Fuller.
Drinking all that Pepsi.
Yeah.
Right.
I love Kieran Culkin in this movie. He's so funny when he's drinking the Pepsi at the table and he looks at Kevin and raises his eyebrows. It's like, wait,
like,
so
hell yeah. You knew. So you knew. He's like, that's right, no cheese pizza and no Pepsi, bud. And then like they push the chair in and he's like,
yes, he's
very good. He has very good eye theatrics.
Yes, I love that gag. And as they did it, I was like, did they do this like maybe in reverse? Because like, man, how do you smash that kid? The other shot that I was really interested in, even if they did it in reverse, it's still pretty dangerous.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
When the wet bandits almost hit Kevin with their...
They did do that in reverse. Van. I'm fairly confident. I think I remember reading that.
Because I was like, you could cut the front of a van off and just rush it towards them with people. But all of it, like, I don't care if my kid's in a movie and they're like, no, we'll put it in reverse and go back. I'd be like, I think we should do this different. Maybe do some like perspective, or I don't know. Maybe he's 5 feet away and the van almost hits him. But absolutely. Wow. Yeah, that was pretty wild. So how do you guys feel about Catherine O'Hara in this movie?
I love Catherine O'Hara as an actress, but her as the mom is like, it's insane to me. Okay, I'm not a mom. You guys are parents. Seth, you have 2 kids. Sam, you have 1. I can't imagine forgetting a kid. Like, wouldn't you look over your kids' faces? But Seth, you grew up with a lot of siblings. Has this ever happened where your parents forgot one of you?
It did.
And I felt like
I
understand her urgency to like, she's got to get home. But then when she gets home, like the end scene, she doesn't run to him. She's just like, Merry Christmas, sweetheart. Yeah. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Run to your kid. Why aren't you crying?
Yep.
Whatever. Seth, did this ever happen in your family?
Yeah.
Where someone forgot?
Quickly on that final interaction with them. I hate it. I really don't like it because she just kind of like comes into the door and she's like, Kevin? Like looking around, like, and I would have been screaming on my way to the front door. Like,
I do appreciate like he's looking at her like with bewilderment. Like, are you kidding me, Mom? Like, are you, this is your best and most? And she says, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, that's the least you could say, but I will give her that. Cause then he runs to her after. It's like, you need to own what you just did for 2 hours that we witnessed, but 3 days of hell for your child. So I always appreciate that. She's like, I'm so sorry.
I want to come back to this because I do want to hear Seth's story, but the house is clean.
Yeah.
Well, we will come back to
right.
I hate this because this is such like kid power nonsense. And I said in my tweet about this movie that this is the film that galvanized the kids with a Z rule, parents drool movement of the early 90s. And it's like, he won't come to her until she apologizes. And then he kind of gets this like smile. And it's like, and it's like, Kevin, literally shut up. You would be, I don't care what you're presenting. Okay. You are traumatized.
Sure. Oh yeah, totally.
2 adult men hours ago were holding you up against the door, telling you they were going to bite your fingers off. And then another old man came in and bonked them over the head. You know what I'm saying? And so run to your kid, run to your mom, cut this out. I don't need this cat and mouse game.
Cheesy moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, it's over. We're done. Okay. Anyway, one time, one of my siblings did get left behind. My parents got home and like there was a phone message like, hey, blah, blah, blah is here. And so they ran back and got him. But we always counted heads probably after that, honestly. But
yeah,
I saw this meme the other day that said, parents, no matter how hard you try, that kid is going to fall off the bed. Or like that baby's going to roll off the bed or something like that. And I was like, that did happen with both of my kids. So I think you got to be a little. Things happen, man. You know, unfortunately, the harsh reality of life is that life is precious and fragile, and your brain sometimes doesn't tell you that you left your wallet at home, and sometimes it doesn't tell you that you left your kid at home. So, you know, it all worked out.
As the kids are on the plane, they're not like, wait, Kevin's not here. Like, I think I would notice if my sibling was missing on the plane.
It's all established by this screenplay that goes so far out of its way to establish that nobody likes this kid. They all wish he was gone. They don't want to hear him. They don't want to talk to, no one wants to help him.
Right.
Their life is better without him around. And like, that's what, okay. So this movie, I know, Michelle, you haven't seen this. This isn't like a spoiler or anything, but this movie, what they did is John Hughes takes It's a Wonderful Life and he flips it. Because It's a Wonderful Life is, everyone's life would be better if I was never born. Kevin says, my life would be better if my family didn't exist. And so he gets to experience like, oh no, this is what my life would be like if my family wasn't around. And so he comes to the realization, as you know, a child should, that no, your family's actually important. My guess is that John Hughes, after being rejected by the Brat Pack, who didn't want to be his best friend in the 80s, was like, I'm going to make a movie that shows kids why they need adults in their life.
I read that, like, he felt that his family, like, it was inspired, like, his family went on a European vacation, and he's like, what happens if, like, one of us got left behind? And he wrote it in 9 days.
Yeah. Real quick, right?
Yeah. This is like a bit of an odd John Hughes movie because it's so outlandish. Like, you know, generally when you're talking about John Hughes, you're talking about realism in coming of age. And like,
well, but like the way he does that, like Ferris Bueller, like that's not.
And Ferris Bueller
that's true.
The closest, you know, you'd be like the Breakfast Club in your middle reign, right? And then outside of that would be like 16 Candles. And then you start moving further and further. And then Ferris Bueller is like, okay, maybe. And then you have Home Alone, which is just like, what if we set a man?
He did John Hughes and My Uncle Buck. That was also slightly a little busy in reality.
A little bit, but not like this. This is
not like this.
This is Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is like Three Stooges, Looney Tunes. And I mean, again, like Pesci and Daniel Stern, love Daniel Stern. So awesome. He's in this horror B movie from the 80s called Chud. And he plays like a homeless guy who knows that there's this conspiracy of like creatures in the sewers and like nobody believes him. Anyway, he's amazing. Also, of course, the narrator for The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
This might be a stretch. You guys can confirm this or not. Marv, played by Daniel Stern, his hair and his facial hair in this movie. Can I say that it is iconic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. You'll allow it?
I will allow it. I said earlier, Sam, that Seth and I are the wet bandits.
Who is who?
I mean, I think it's clear, like, I'm Harry.
Okay.
I'm the short dude.
You are definitely the brains.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just follow around and ask questions.
Did you guys never got left behind? I mean, there was only 2 of you, so I guess it'd be hard.
We got lost in Disney World, and that's like a touchstone memory for me.
I got lost in a carnival, and 2 old ladies found me, and I remember that. And I was like hysterically crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened when I was like 4 years old. I don't remember getting lost in Disney. Maybe that was you.
Animal Kingdom, we got lost, and it was like probably under 2 minutes, but I ran up to someone who I thought was our dad, and I was crying, and I grabbed his belt, and he turns around, and it was not our dad. And then I just cried I was like, oh my God, this is never going to get fixed. And then like they found us in under probably 2 minutes. But I was petrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we would go to Walmart and we would just run around the store. I don't know if you guys experienced that.
Yes, I used to hide in the racks.
We would hide in the racks.
Yes.
And we would play this game where you didn't want any of your siblings to see you. Yes. So you would just like run at full speed and just try to not be seen by anybody. And like thinking about my kids now, if I was looking for them and they were like hiding in the clothing rack and I found them, they would be grounded for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking for your kid, you think that they're missing, and they're like, hee, I was in the lady's pants.
It's crazy. I mean, Sam would get yelled at a lot.
Yeah, like my babysitter closed the store once. Not closed, but I was doing the same thing to her, and she was like, no one can leave the store. Like, she was flipping out, talking to sales people, and I was just like hanging out in the rack. And I didn't get punished for it.
Yeah, you were pretty defiant.
Wow.
For no reason.
I think
you're a kid.
I think like as I'm older now, I don't really put a lot of blame on Catherine O'Hara.
What?
No, because
I don't put blame on her. I didn't like her reactions.
What about the husband?
No. Well, okay. Well, another note
Peter
on
McCallister.
Another note on this whole thing is no one, including Catherine O'Hara, is freaking out enough about what's going on.
Absolutely.
I know. It's the reactions.
When we get to France, the brother and sister-in-law, we only see them in the background. They're decorating their Christmas tree.
They're blue, like iridescent, disgusting. Bobby was like, my husband's finally see Uncle Rob. He's like, he's like, I finally spotted him. It was like, where's Waldo? And then what's his face is eating shrimp. Bobby's like, those are the biggest shrimp I've ever seen. They're disgusting.
Uncle Frank is such a vibe.
He was supposed to be, Kelsey Grammer was offered that role, and it would have been harder to dislike him because I love Kelsey Grammer, but I hate Uncle Frank, so I'm glad he didn't take the role.
He's realistic though.
He is. He's a putz.
I think Kelsey Grammer has a very condescending. And so I can see how this was written for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see him kind of like leering at Kevin and saying, look what you did, you little jerk. Where the actor who ends up playing Uncle Frank, he's coming at it from like a different, like he's more like goofy, like, I don't know. I don't know that I would believe Kelsey Grammer as like a cheapskate guy who's like, stealing stuff from the plane. So I actually like where we ended up with this. I don't want to see Kelsey Grammer as Uncle Frank. The airport people, none of them. I mean, like, look, I understand that your hands are tied, but they're acting like robots. They're just like, there's nothing I can do. Can I offer you a hotel? If a woman came up to me and she was like, hi, I'm currently in France and I left my child, my 8 or 9-year-old child at home, I'd be like, we gotta do it, call the cops.
Well, what do you think about the police department? I mean, isn't that like quintessential 90s police department in a Christmas movie? They're like, wrapping presents, eating donuts.
I love the dude who takes her call and he's like, was your child involved in and like as he's eating a donut and a big piece of the donut falls on the receiver of the phone and just hangs out there for a second. I was like, dude, this dude rules. And like I deal with a lot of corporations and insurance companies and banks, and that is what every phone call that I ever take is like. You get transferred to someone and you say to them, do not transfer me, let me tell you the whole story again. And then by the time you're done, they're like, oh yeah, it's actually supposed to be this other person. Please hold. And I'm like, So this felt a little too real. But yeah, like as an adult, I view this movie totally different because I can't imagine if one of my kids was missing for 3 days and I was doing everything I could to get back to them. To me, that's punishment enough. Like you would be like in hell in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I cut her some slack. Maybe I shouldn't.
No, yeah.
I thought it was really messed up in the beginning of the movie. She's like, you'd feel really sad if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have a family. And he's almost testing her. He's like, no, I wouldn't. She's like, well, maybe you should ask. And it's like, maybe you shouldn't say that to your I don't know. It's a very manipulative testing, like unkind way to prove a point to your 8-year-old who's still learning how to establish his role in the family, obviously.
I feel like it's so chaotic in that household.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you slip.
Yeah.
You slip in what you say.
Yeah.
Hey, you know where the best place to put all of your passports is? Right on the kitchen counter.
Absolutely, to go right in the tree.
Why aren't they packed?
Just pile them all up.
They're just on the kitchen counter where the food goes. Like what?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
silly.
The McCallisters are proof that money does not equal brains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we just won a trip and we have to leave in 24 hours. You've known about this.
You've planned it.
oh, I didn't have time to go buy a power converter. What do you mean you didn't have time to go buy a power converter?
Right.
Like, get out of here. Like, they're nuts. They're chaotic. And I think they deserve everything that they get. So a lot of people in recent years have commented on, like, how do the McCallisters have so much money? What do you guys think about that whole thing?
True.
And then it ties into like, oh, okay, because like the dad from the McCallisters, he's in The Sopranos.
Yeah. That makes sense. Then it tracks. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how they
have
all the
I
money.
just always assumed that like he's in business and
it was the 90s.
And they're all flying first class minus the kids.
Well, didn't Uncle Rob pay for it?
I thought Uncle Rob just paid for Paris. I didn't realize he paid for the first class tickets, but maybe he did.
Well, so that's how Rob lives in Paris.
Right.
Because Rob's kids are with the McCallisters, visiting for the holidays or whatever, and then they're bringing them back.
Right.
And so I never had
Which is also strange.
I never had a problem with it. Like, yes, they have money, but some people just have money, and
maybe they're trust fund people.
People go on big vacations, you know what I mean? Like you guys, you went for the wedding in Italy or whatever. Like, didn't like the whole family go?
Well, Veronica's family went,
right?
But none of Aunt's family went.
But I'm just saying, like, a whole family went to another country. Yes. Are they in the mob?
Right?
Know what I mean? Like,
no.
Come on, like, I don't know. It just, I mean, what was an airplane ticket in 1990? Like $10?
Probably $10.
You know what I'm saying?
12 with tax. Yes.
Right.
Okay, you guys live on Long Island.
Yes.
You got to make it to JFK.
I said this is the most unrealistic part of the movie, is that they're going to make it to the Chicago O'Hare Airport in 45 minutes for an international flight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and get through, like, customs and baggage and checking security now.
With all those people?
No.
Well, and what I said to Michelle was, this is pre 9/11. You could literally just show up and be like, I'm here. And they were like, we held the plane for you. Why not?
True.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And that everyone overslept. I feel like that's really unrealistic. Like, everybody in that, no one got up early. No one. You have how many kids in that house?
Well, you have a house full of kids. They're going to be up way before you want them to be.
Right.
Running around.
So they're going to be up before, like, somebody would have caught on to the fact
Fuller didn't wake up to pee? Come on.
Right.
Well, I guess that's his whole thing. He doesn't wake up to pee, but
he wets the bed.
He wakes up in pee.
He's like a puppy.
Another piece of evidence against the McCallisters is in the second movie, the same thing happens.
Yep.
The same thing happens, and we're running through the airport a second time. Are you going on vacation the next year with your family after this?
I wouldn't for the second one. I'd be like, you know what? We're going to stay local. I don't trust any of you. You guys can't orchestrate a pizza delivery, let alone a whole international plane situation. You guys,
shout out to Little Nero's.
$122.50 or whatever it was for $12 a pizza.
When he delivers, a large cheese pizza and it's like $12, I was like, that's kind of not always Long Island. Long Island could be a little bit more expensive, but I was like, that's what it costs up here now. 30 years later, like, that must have been a really expensive pizza back then.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Like, he shows up with all those pizzas with all those toppings. He's like, $122. I was like, bro, no. Yeah. Also, just, a little inside baseball. You do not carry that many pizzas stacked on top of each other. Just throwing it out there.
Because you can't, or no?
It's just bad.
It'll melt.
Yeah, like just the weight. You don't want to put that much weight on the boxes, all the steam and the heat. Exactly. 4 max. Maximum 4. Never more than that. So
I love that it's like how many minutes, like you get your pizza and how much time it'll last.
That's so ridiculous.
Or it's on us, and that's why he's always speeding in and knocking down the jockey. It's pretty funny.
I do like the jockey bit, yeah.
Yeah, I like the jockey bit.
When we were talking about John Hughes, I forgot, like, I feel like it's very John Hughes. Like, I don't know, I'm sure you both caught on, like, the entire house is red and green everywhere. The wallpaper, the toilet seat cover, like, everything is red. So I feel like that's just very John Hughes. Like, just very, he's a little nuts, but he's very detail oriented, which I appreciate. I was like, this is, but again, like, you guys are so Christmased out, but you don't put your passports in an appropriate place. So, like,
well, right.
So anyway.
Also, okay, I feel like a prerequisite for having what are we calling that doorknob? emblazoned.
Engraved.
Engraved. I feel like if you have an engraved doorknob, where is the housekeeper character in this movie?
Maybe she was on vacation.
I need a housekeeper running around after the kids, doing this and that. But I could be wrong.
Maybe she was in France. They were picking her up.
Maybe.
Clearly they needed her.
An au pair.
We're getting an au pair. Happy holidays.
Okay, so when Kevin wakes up and he's so excited his parents are gone, he's like, I'm going to do all the things I can do. You know, he goes through Buzz's stuff. And one of the things he does, he grabs a toboggan and he opens up the front door and goes down the stairs out the front door.
So unlikely that would
when Sam and I were kids, we used to take the mattress off our bed and go down our stairs. It is crazy. And we talked about this at Thanksgiving because we would do it with my cousin, and my parents and my aunt and uncle would be in the house, and I think they were just so happy we were preoccupied.
Right.
And we grew up in a condominium.
Yeah.
So imagine it's just like constant. So I want to know, did you ever do anything like this? Did you take a sled down the stairs, mattress down the stairs?
And there was a wall at the end of our stairs. We should point out.
Right. There was no door.
Yeah.
Stop.
Thinking about your stairs, I'm like, that's not.
It's crazy.
Good.
I can't believe we did that, and my parents were just like,
well,
like we couldn't curse, but we could take a sled down. I mean, like
we literally took the mattress off our bed frame and went down the stairs. Stairs.
You know, sometimes when you have kids, there's this combination of let them be kids, combined with, oh, thank God they're just doing something by themselves. And I think that's that's a dangerous zone that parents get into when kids then do something crazy.
This is crazy to me.
Yeah, let them be kids.
This is crazy.
We didn't slide down our stairs. We would go down on our butts, and you kind of like, we would do that. What we would do is if my mom or dad were driving around the neighborhood and they found a refrigerator box, we would bring the refrigerator box home, and we had a hill in our backyard. And so we would all get in it. We'd be laying down and we would roll down the hill in the refrigerator box.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say we made like a fort because we used to make like castles out of those boxes.
No,
but that's much safer.
We just loved. No, it wasn't.
That's safe, Sam.
Then going down a stairs with a wall at the end?
We would hit our heads on like rocks and stuff that were like in the ground. And
yeah, never mind.
Yeah, you're just like roll. Everyone's inside the cardboard tube, just like rolling all over each other, like at high speeds. And it was. I don't know why we did that. It was the 90s. But hey. And again, my mom was probably like looking out the kitchen window like, they're doing something.
They're preoccupied.
And they're playing together.
Yeah.
Right. So like on that note, right, then Kevin goes in Buzz's room and he's going through his stuff and the Playboy and he gets the BB gun. Kevin has such a good shot.
Yeah.
Sam, did you ever work at the shooting range?
I did.
Okay. Tell everybody, because I think all three of us can agree. No, never. This would never happen. It is so difficult.
Especially if it's your first time. If it's not your first time, I have questions. If it is your first time and you're like, good, I have questions.
Right. It's difficult to hit something with a shotgun, which is releasing BBs in a pattern. Yes. He is hitting tiny little toys with a single BB.
Right. And his little body, like you're not feeling any of that. He's just...
No kickback.
No. Ridiculous. No. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all three of us former shooting range employees can agree this part is nonsense.
But it fits.
It does. It fits into Kevin is a like evil little devil child who has a penchant for, I don't know, pain and destruction, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, he's getting back because he's getting what's his. He's getting his comeuppance to everyone else.
Right.
There's a lot of pain underneath this anger.
I wanted to quickly highlight two lines from the Wet Bandits. I love the snakes line.
Snakes.
I don't know no snakes. And then Marv, when they're talking to Kevin outside in the van, he says to him, "Sandy don't visit the funeral home, little buddy."
That's my least favorite line of the entire movie.
It's insane.
It's horrible.
And then
I said that this morning.
Later, when they get through the house and they're looking out the window, and Harry says, "Where'd he go?" And Marv says, "Maybe he committed suicide."
Yup.
Pretty great. Pretty wonderful.
It's pretty great. Oh my God.
So the whole leaving the water on thing, by the way, This happened to someone that I know. There's actually a client of Tori's and I's. My sister and me had a client.
Hi, sister and I. Go ahead.
And they had moved into this house that they were redoing, and it was like beautiful, really nice people. Not like a huge house or anything, but they were redoing all the tile and new appliances and fixtures and painting, and we would come in like once a week and just help clean up like construction dust because they were living there as they were doing it. They get everything finished. They throw this huge party and tell everyone at the party, "Oh yeah, we're going out of town next weekend." They come back. Somebody at that party knew that they were gone, broke in, stole everything, and plugged all the drains and ran all the taps and destroyed like the entire house. So they had their completed home that they had like worked for. I know, like they were doing a lot of the construction stuff themselves too. They had it for like less than a week and it got destroyed.
Did they find out who did it?
Nope. Nope.
That like hurts me.
You know, they talked to us and they were like, "Hey, you know, obviously we don't think it was you, but," and we were like, "Yeah, why? Absolutely, we wouldn't do that." So,
right.
Yeah. When Marv tells Harry that he's doing the whole wet bandit thing, and Harry's like, "You're sick. Like, that's sick." Even though they're robbing people, Harry knows, like, dude, that is, yeah. And it's like next level horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
So I said that I was going to pull everything apart, and I don't want to do that, but I have one thing, if you'll indulge me.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Kevin hears the wet bandits saying that they will come back at 9:00. This is in the morning time-ish. He waits around all day. He then goes to visit Santa Claus. I like the Santa Claus scene. I think it's pretty funny. Even though, again, we have another adult who does nothing. Kevin keeps interacting with all these people who are suspicious. Like, something's off. Something's wrong. No. He literally tells Santa Claus, "I just want my family back." Names all of them. And Santa's like, "All right, here you go, kid. Here's some Tic Tacs. Bye."
Put out your little paw here.
Like, if you're that Santa, you're not going to say, "Oh, what do you mean, little boy?" Like, right. Nothing. No questions.
You can tell, like, for a split second, he's like, wait. What?
But, okay, if Catherine O'Hara is burnt out with 5 kids, maybe that Santa Claus is burnt out from seeing kids all day.
That Santa just got a ticket and his car won't
He's
start.
trying to get to a party. How do you get, it's like giving rabies shot to an Easter bunny. Like, how do you give a ticket? But it's true, absolutely. Like, all these people, like, even the store clerk who's like, "Where's your parent?" Like,
Right. But again, Sam, you're bringing up the kind of airtightness of this screenplay is all that stuff is established. So you can look back and say, well, that's why.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he goes to the church, has the conversation, goes home. Now, when he goes to Santa's, it's dark. So I looked up, the sun set at 4:24 p.m. on December 24th, 1990 in Illinois. So it is 4:24. Even if let's say the sun just set as he's walking up to Santa's place, okay? So we start at 4:24. He has the Santa interaction, he goes to church. Maximum amount of time, 20 minutes. Let's say that the Santa thing in the church is right in his neighborhood. Okay, 20 minutes. Let's say he arrives home at 4:45. That leaves him 4 hours and 15 minutes to do his drawing, his plan, then all the traps, and then make himself dinner and
Which
sit down.
He didn't have time to eat.
At 9:00.
He left 3 minutes for himself. Yes. 8:57. That microwave went
has good time management. I'm not saying this isn't tracking, but like he doesn't have good time management.
This is the part of the movie that really, really bothers me because I used to set up booby traps as a kid. You know, you set up like you get like dental floss and you like tie it around the door and then someone just walks through it and you're like, dang it. As a kid, you do like little traps and things. I was never setting up a blowtorch, though. You know what I mean? How is he doing all of this in 4 hours and 15 minutes? This is my biggest problem with this movie. Then, as Michelle already said, after all the chaos, he cleans the entire house. And
except for Buzz's room.
And I texted Michelle, how is he getting tar off of the steps?
Aunt said the same thing. It's funny you brought this up, Seth, because Aunt and I were trying to like figure out the logistics of the timing and everything. Do you think the whole chaoticness happened like within an hour?
I was going to say probably 2 hours because then if it's by morning cleaned up and that's 9, that's 11, he has from midnight to 7? He has 7 hours to clean it and he wakes up well rested.
Right. He wakes up in a freaking robe.
Cleaned.
He's in a robe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's clean, pajamas, robe, whole downstairs. And he also cleaned up by the tree. He hung the stockings.
Yes, the ornaments are not stepped on.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Not on your life. Literally not on your life.
I couldn't do that. And I'm an adult.
I couldn't do it. No
Do we
way.
think old man Marley helped him out?
I don't think Marley came in and helped it clean.
But we don't know, right? We also don't know when he made that plan. Maybe he did his plan drawing before he went out.
He is good with a shovel. Maybe
I'm just saying.
Man Marley.
Maybe he's like, yo, do you know how to get tar off a step? And...
Right.
Maybe he did the outside, the exterior stuff.
Right.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
He shovels the tar. You can't shovel
it is kind of crazy, though, to think Marley saves him. Come on,
let's get you home.
Cops show up.
Don't take a report.
Marley's just like standing on the front steps, like, all right, bye, Kevin. Bye. And like walks away. Like, you're an adult, a grandfather.
Yeah.
You just saved this child's life. You're like, Kevin, you're coming home with me.
Or telling the cops, like, oh, you're the missing McCallister kid.
Right. But this is also partially why I don't love the final interaction with him and his mom, is because if Kevin at any point, if any adult does the right thing, we lose that.
Yeah.
That final reveal of him waking up, looking around and thinking, oh, did my wish come true? My family came back.
Right.
Right.
Mm.
So,
the other part of the whole like scheme, like how did Kevin know that Marv would take his shoes off to step on the ornaments?
Right.
I mean, either way, I think that would have hurt.
But if you were coming through the window and you have shoes on, you're just going to crunch it.
Do you think he maybe just was like, I need to cover everything? Because whether you're coming through the window, the doors, the walls, like everything is going to be accounted for.
Yeah.
Also, like, again, the first encounter you get shot in the balls and the forehead, don't you give up? Like, aren't you like, you know what?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you heard like Harry very early. He's like, ever since I saw that house, I've wanted it. I had my eyes on it.
Yes.
It's like,
but how are they physically capable? I trip and I'm out of the count.
Forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you get shot in the groin with a BB, minimum, you're like, we need to go to the van and like get your pocket knife out and take this out. You're not just gonna be like, I'm gonna walk around with this in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's bad news. Then your partner gets shot in the face. In the face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At that point, you say, all right, let's go to the van and get the guns. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nope. But that's what makes this whole thing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything you can pull apart, there's an answer for it. You won't like the answer, but
it's accounted for.
Do you guys have a favorite booby trap?
I love the paint cans.
Yeah.
I thought that was just funny. Like, watch out. And then, Marv gets hit. And just like all the stairs, like the water on the stairs to freeze and make ice, the tar.
Yeah.
It's wild to think. I would never know how to do that. I still don't know how to do that.
The iron coming down from the ceiling. And it's not like a booby trap, but just how he set up the whole party with like the Michael Jordan cutout. Like how you're doing I mean, he's really
also
very
where did we get the mannequins?
Right. Who is, well, they were in the basement. You can see them, but why do we have them? Is she seamstress?
Right. They're not even like dress forms. They're like full face mannequins. Right. So then like, do they work in retail? Somebody works in retail.
Maybe he works in sales.
Maybe there's a McCallister department store,
Maybe.
You never know.
But that's a great scene. Rock Around the Christmas Tree with like
Brenda Lee.
Oh, man.
Okay.
That's a great scene.
But this is the same Kevin McCallister who didn't know how to pack a suitcase. Hours before.
But doesn't that make sense for kids? Like, you can't do the most literal thing, but you can come up with and drive a really elaborate plan or scheme when you're motivated and concentrated on it.
I guess so.
Like, I guess he could, but he was doing, I think he was more absent-minded and distracted.
And like my mom always packs my suitcase.
Oh, wait, right. Like, I wouldn't think to pack my suitcase, but I might think to like change my dad's internet password at a store, which I did because he cut it off on our store. So I wouldn't pack my own suitcase, but I would cut off my dad's internet connection at a store. And I was like 10 years old.
Wow, you
Sam
are
was
like
Kevin. Sam was Kevin McCallister.
Wow.
Except my dad wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry. He was like, put the fucking internet back. Change the password back. So it wasn't the same. Catherine O'Hara is not your typical parent, I don't think.
Right.
Yep.
I think my
funny.
favorite thing, because it doesn't, like, just physics, it doesn't make any sense, is when they go through the whole house, they should be dead. I mean, Marv has 3rd-degree burns on the top of his head.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And his hand is also from the...
Right. He's got a bad burn on his hand. He's got a BB in his BBs.
Harry.
Right? Yeah, Harry.
Yeah.
They decide, hey, you know what we should do? Let's go hand over hand on this rope.
Yep, right. Which my hand's already scorched.
Right. Which requires an incredible amount of like upper body strength to hang and then work your way. This is like, you know, the Navy SEALs here. So they do this. And then Kevin cuts the rope and they Tarzan swing into the side of the building.
Yep. That alone would take them out.
Well, right. But like you would just drop.
Oh, I see. Yes.
So after Catherine O'Hara comes home, we get Kevin looking out the window and old man Marley reunited with the granddaughter. And he almost gives the like thumbs up to Kevin, like, hey, it worked.
Right.
Don't tell anybody about last night.
That was also sweet.
Like, does Kevin fill his parents in on what happened? Because they were like, wow, you went shopping, you got milk, eggs, and fabric softener.
The dad's like, what a funny guy. No.
Yes. What a funny guy.
No, douchebag. Like, not a funny guy. Talk to your kid. Go to therapy.
You would run in, you would be like hugging your kid and you wouldn't, he like almost comes in and kind of like ruffles the top of his hair. He's like, hey, Kevin. Hey, you're okay. Okay.
Back
bye.
Regular scheduled programming.
Right. It's like, we just traveled across the world to see you, but like, Yeah.
Even like in the airport when Catherine O'Hara and Peter, or Kate and Peter, whatever, they're hugging. I don't know what they say. There's an exchange because Please Come Home for Christmas is playing. But they laugh. I'm like, I understand.
It's too lighthearted.
I understand that you have to have some level of like, no. But even that, no. Like, what are you laughing about? You're trying to get home to your son. It's not funny. Yeah. You two are... And I don't want to talk about the second one, but like they're even worse than that one.
And when they're talking about like, oh, we got to, make a trip to go there,
yes.
we got to get a flight back. He's like, look, you're tired. I'm tired. Let's just, no. Like when the front desk is like, yeah, we'll put you on standby. I'd be like, great.
Right.
Yes. Guess what, kids? We're all staying here. And anything that opens up, we're all going to try. Like, they're all brushing it off. But hey, it was a different time. A lot of kids would come home from school and their parents were at work and you're home for a few hours spending for yourself. And that still happens nowadays, but not as much. And so back then it was like, it's a couple days. What could he really do? And if it weren't for the Wet Bandits, he would pretty much just be like hanging out,
right,
eating ice cream.
Watching rubbish.
Right.
Or eating rubbish. Yes.
So we would be remiss to not mention quickly John Candy.
Yes.
As the Boca King of the Midwest.
He improvised like all of his lines in that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess Kenosha Kickers.
I guess he did it like kind of as a favor kind of a thing. And like that's why he came in and just like made up everything. The story about the funeral home I find hilarious.
Oh, his friend left the kid. Oh, his friend, right? Who left the kid?
Yeah. I think that kind of informs Catherine O'Hara's performance at the end when she looks at Kevin and he's just looking at her and she's like, oh my God, is this the funeral home thing? Like, is he scarred for life? Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, John Candy's great in this. And then the other thing is the film within the film, which is Angels with Filthy Souls.
Yes.
Right? Which is
yes,
a play on the real film Angels with Dirty Faces. And I didn't know as a kid that this wasn't a real movie. And
same.
And I think this might be like my favorite part of the movie. Not even like how he utilizes the sound of the bullets, which doesn't make any sense. He's playing it on like a little kitchen TV.
So like the sound wouldn't travel
right like
that well.
You would maybe not even be able to hear this.
No.
But okay, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I've always loved it, and I think it's pretty great.
It's pretty iconic. It's awesome. An iconic movie in a movie.
Yeah.
Yes, because they do that again in the second one.
Yes. Well, Little Mo with a gimpy leg.
Gimpy leg, right. Yeah. And there's a Mo who works there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Cliff. Little Cliff.
Yeah. Cliff.
No, Cliff. Yeah, and he's like,
it's not true.
It's not true. Yeah.
Do you guys like the second one more than the first one?
Oh man, it's been so long since I've watched the second one, and when I mean so long, it's been since last year. I think I do like the second one more.
Okay.
I remember being like, "Wow, New York City! I know these places."
Yeah. It creeps me out more. Like when he's in Central Park at night and the cab driver's really creepy and the older women, not older, but like they're streetwalkers and they're like, you want me to read you a bedtime story? Like that whole thing is creepy. That whole mishigash is very creepy to me. But like them like throwing the bricks, suck bricks, kid. And he like throws, that was so well done. Not well done, but I liked their booby trapping his uncle and aunt's house.
You know what's crazy? So the third one's completely different. I've seen the third one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the fourth one is the same family. Yeah. And then Kevin marries a princess. This is what I heard last night. And
I thought they were joking.
The parents are divorced.
Wow.
Like it's the same characters, just different actors. And then Harry and Marv recognize Kevin.
Wow. I want
to watch it. It's so bad, but I need to watch it.
What? Did you guys watch the new Home Alone that they came out with like last year?
No.
It's dismal.
I'm sure.
Well, like how do you
really they changed the whole thing to be, instead of it being burglars, it's like this couple who are going to lose their home and they have this like priceless doll that the kid steals from them, and so they break into the home to get the doll back so that they can have the money to save their home. And like they have children, like it's not like just an evil couple. And so the whole thing is different because when they're getting hurt, you're not like, ha ha ha, you deserve this. You're like, oh my God, like this kid is the devil. And to Macaulay Culkin's credit, as a kid, I think he never veers into annoying kid territory. He's precocious, but he's respectful. Like he's taking his situation very seriously. He's showering and even cleaning his belly button.
Yes, and trying to get a new toothbrush.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And so
that's ADA approved. Like for 8-year-old is looking for that.
Right. For a 90s movie to have a kid lead who is like interesting and funny, but not annoying. I mean, early movie Kevin is kind of annoying, but that whole scene just makes my hackles go up because it's like everyone is annoying and strange. And
everyone, right.
Yeah.
So for what it could be, you know, I think he does pretty great.
He's great. He's a great kid actor, Macaulay Culkin.
He's great. He was great, My Uncle Buck. Like he is just I think that's how he ended up casting him for Home Alone.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about that either of you wanted to mention?
Just that I've always wanted to eat that mac and cheese and Tic Tacs.
Every time I have a cheese pizza, which is not often, I will say, a lovely cheese pizza just for me.
Just for me.
Just for me. I still love the house. I mean, even though it was filmed in a gym, I still love the house, the exterior.
Oh my God, the house is so classic.
So this movie was made for $15 million. Goes on to make $476 million. It was the most successful live action comedy until The Hangover or The Hangover Part 2.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this dominated for a long time. And, you know, a big movie now making $500 million isn't unheard of, but 1990 for a kids Christmas movie to make that amount of money that's insane. Like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This movie has 66 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is incredibly low if you ask me. I was really surprising.
That is surprising.
Anything below 60 is rotten. So for this to only be 66, it's like,
wow.
Yeah. Isn't that really surprising?
That is really surprising.
It's got 3.8 on Letterboxd, 63 on Metacritic, which again, pretty low.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Ebert liked this movie, gave it 2.5, but he had big problems with the whole burglar thing. Like he was like, Culkin is great. The story is fun, jumping on the bed and eating ice cream. He's like, but then we get into this whole burglar thing and it just, goes into the stratosphere. And yeah.
We need the burglars.
I mean,
because otherwise you don't really have like the whole.
Like how boring would it be to watch Kevin at home by himself?
Well, right. But we get, for a lot of the movie, that's what the movie is though. And I think that there is stuff going on because you have him run away from the cops. You have Old Man Marley. You could put in another, I don't know.
No, we need the violence. Give me the violence.
Well, you need them. However you're portraying them, it needs to be a bit. You need them.
Yeah.
Because then Kevin's not really Kevin. Like you don't really get to see him shine in how he is a little devious, resourceful, creative. If you don't have them.
Yeah.
And that platform is necessary for both of them. It's a give and a take.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I probably should have asked you this at the beginning, but why did you pick this movie to do with us?
Well, I don't know if Michelle told you. It was a toss-up between this and Santa Claus with Tim Allen and Eric Lloyd. My other favorite. I was like, I'll do both. Like, I love them both. And after you shared your feelings about Chevy Chase, I'm like, all right, Christmas Vacation, we can act.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But it was just a classic for me. Like, it was part of our childhood. It was a part of, like, literally my identity, which is weird in a way because I loved Kevin. I don't know why I identified with him. I was devious, but not to that extent. It's just, it feels very like childhood. It's very nostalgic. It's very like feel good, even though there's a lot of chaos and a lot of dysfunction. I pretty much always watch it. It could be July, it could be December, it could be March. Like I'm watching this movie. I watched it in June, and when it was on, like, I don't know, it wasn't Christmas in July, but whatever it was. But it's like cinema. I don't know. For me, it's a feel good classic, and I love anything that I know because it's it's like you can watch this and you know how it's going to go and in a good way. So I can watch it line by line, recite it, and it's a classic. My husband and I quote it all the time. I will to myself, like how Harry's like I do that instead of cursing. I do that to myself. Yeah. I just find it to be like a really, even though it's grossly impossible for the most part, it's just like a very funny, like you said, everything connects, even though it's ridiculous. He covers all his bases.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks for coming along for the ride for the movie.
Since you're Kevin, do you feel like Michelle is Buzz?
Yes.
Like, was Michelle like Buzz when you were growing up?
Yes.
Michelle's face right now is like...
I thought she was yawning. I'm like, did my screen freeze? I'm not even kidding. Yes.
I was definitely
I was never allowed in Michelle's room. I wasn't allowed to touch her. She had like seahorses. I wasn't allowed to mess with those. She wouldn't have a tarantula.
They were sea monkeys.
Sea monkeys, whatever. Seahorses, yeah.
Get it right, Samuel.
She was, just not super nice. Somehow putting the blame on me all the time. So maybe, there was a lot of like sibling identity too.
Yeah, I definitely was Buzz adjacent, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Kevin's just misunderstood, and I think I can identify with that too. I was misunderstood as a child, and I was left to my own devices. So,
and you were definitely just difficult. Like you had a mouth on you,
which is interesting because it's kind of reversed now. I don't have that mouth now. Michelle does.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I love the bar when Kevin can't say goodnight, Kevin. Good night, Kevin.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
I want to reach to that screen and.
Right.
My goodness. But again, Macaulay, he can do it all.
He can do it all.
Great talent.
He's great.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sam. This was fun.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoys it who watches it, or who listens, rather, not watches, but who listens to you guys and watches the movie.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun for people to hear, because we talk about you all the time on the show. So I think it'll be fun for people to be like, oh, that's Sam. She's not as evil as Michelle makes her out to be.
Exactly. Buzz.
Wow.
Exactly. I'm just trying to stake my claims here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Wow. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Samuel.
So what I have found is that your mom took the video from you guys, and then when your Super Nintendo broke, didn't replace it. So you guys must have drove your mom crazy with home media.
Yeah. We were very into our home media, as I think most 90s kids were. Well, probably kids today, too. We're very into our technology.
I just had to take away something from my son.
There you go.
And the only thing that I wanted to mention that I realized we didn't mention before is the incredible John Williams score.
Oh, my God.
The great John Williams, who we gushed over previously. I don't know if I can say this for sure, but is this the most iconic Christmas score?
Yeah, it's up there. Like I'm curious to see how I feel after we do a couple of other classic holiday movies this month, like what's to come. But this one automatically gives you the feels.
Yeah, I think in a lot of other Christmas movies, there's more of a soundtrack where we're hearing all the Christmas classic songs. Mm-hmm. But this one, we get a few, songs, but the score, I think, is instantly recognizable and reminds you of Christmas. And so, anyway, I just wanted to quickly mention that. We reached out to some friends on Twitter to ask them what they thought. Alex Arlano, at Alex172005_.
Whoa.
Which I don't think we've ever gotten confirmation as to what that is.
No, it sounds very futuristic.
Whoa, even though it's a...
Don't you think?
It's a date in the past?
Right, but the way the numbers are strewn together. Okay. Yeah.
Alex, future guy.
Oh my God, maybe he was born in 2005.
I can confirm that that's not true.
Okay.
Anyway, this is weird. Theorizing as to his
weird.
personal life. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, Alex.
He said, is there a funnier scream in movie history than Marv's when the tarantula is on his face?
Dude, we didn't even talk about the tarantula.
No.
How do you feel about spiders and tarantulas?
The approach that I take with spiders and insects that I find icky is that I am like 50,000 times their size. Mm-hmm. And I don't live in Australia, and I don't live in like the Southwest where things are poisonous. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really have poisonous stuff in New York. We have brown recluse spiders, which is no joke.
Yeah.
But I know what that looks like. And so if it's anything other than that, you just pick it up and take it outside or let it be. I'm a big fan of just letting the spider be, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big component of that too. But like, unfortunately, if I see you and, one time I had to evict a spider in our bathroom and Charlotte crossed the line. She lived in the bathroom for a long time, and then I had to evict her because she crossed.
Did she walk on your toothpaste?
No, but I found her on the other side, and I was like, I'm so sorry, honey. You gotta
I always
go.
feel bad for the shower spider. I'll get in, and there's a spider in the shower, and I'm like, look, I'm naked and wet. It's going to be real hard for me to save you,
Well, that's right. And also, like, that's, if you're up in the corner, that's fine. But, like, they can go in your crevices, and I'm not into that. Yes.
I remember your whole,
Yeah, you know how I feel about the crevices and holes and bugs. Yeah. But a tarantula being on your face?
I mean, I would definitely do it if I was in a movie. I would not be happy about it.
Daniel did it. He wanted the stinger out, and they're like, we can't take the stinger out because it'll kill the spider. And so, but spiders are deaf. So they couldn't hear the screaming.
Okay.
Well, this tarantula is deaf, I guess. I don't know if all tarantulas are deaf, but props, man.
Definitely.
Props.
Definitely.
I don't know if I could do that. Oh.
I think I would do it. Like I said, I'd be upset. I wouldn't be happy about it, and I'd probably complain about it for the rest of my life. But I would do it.
Yeah.
Alex also says, don't have much input other than this is a must-see every holiday season for my family. But I do want to hear Seth's best hands-on-cheeks aftershave scream. So, Macaulay's scream in this, I think he's purposely going low Because it's not like an ah. It's like an ah.
Yeah. And he does it twice.
He does it twice, which is like, come on, kid. Okay, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to take off my glasses.
Should I take my headphones off?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready? Ah!
Wow.
I hurt myself.
It was a little weak.
Smacking my face.
That was a little weak, Seth. But okay.
You want to give it a try?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think my voice is warmed up.
Got it. Yeah, I'll blame it on that, Alex. It's 7:20 in the morning that we're recording this.
Right.
So
plus, like,
that was pretty good.
Thanks.
Betsy at Gorm_Betsy says, I saw this.
Always pick Betsy.
Yeah. I saw this once at Hit Home Video, and it's been a classic in my family ever since. Though I never tried to booby trap my home as a result.
Right.
That's pretty surprising. Not like, oh, from Betsy, that's surprising. Just, I feel like everybody's booby trapping their home from this, no?
I mean, we didn't.
Oh, man. We were booby trapping like crazy.
Booby trapping like crazy.
Put that on a shirt with my face on it. Booby trapping like crazy. Ben, at Ben Sower, said, I watch this every year at Christmas time, one of my all-time favorite holiday films. There's a lot of people who've been responding to some of these movies with, I watch this every Christmas. I don't have anything like that. Well, that as soon as I said it, I remembered that's not true. Every Christmas Eve, as I'm either cooking or like preparing stuff, I watch Les Mis.
Oh, see, that's your Christmas movie.
Yeah, even though it has like nothing to do with Christmas.
Doesn't matter. My every Christmas Eve, I watch Little Women 1994 by myself and cry. Usually when I'm going to bed and Aunt's asleep, I watch, that's my Christmas movie.
Christmas night you watch it?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, sorry.
Christmas Eve, falling asleep, I watch Little Women by myself. I don't want anybody else to watch it with me. And I feel all the feels. Like, to me, that's my Christmas movie.
Got it.
Yeah.
Felicia at Cinnamoroni says, so I hate Christmas and Christmas movies. Thank you. Thank you, Felicia. And then in parentheses, she says, sorry, I know that's very Grinch-like, but it's my least favorite holiday. Same. That being said, I will watch Home Alone every year because Catherine O'Hara and Joe Pesci's gold tooth are everything to me. And Jamila, at Jamila Brownie, favorite childhood movie. Notice I didn't even say Christmas, so this is trumping all kids' movies for her.
Whoa.
This and Lost in New York were in constant rotation. My family and I reference it so much.
Yeah.
Not even just the big lines, but yeah, snakes, I don't know no snakes, often has me rolling. I'm a Home Alone expert. And then she gives the salute emoji.
Whoa.
So wow. I'm curious as to what being a Home Alone expert means.
I feel like she's in good company with me and Sam.
Okay.
Jamila, you're part of us. You're one of us.
I would like to see a little Home Alone movie with the three of you trapped in a New York building trying to fend off robbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is some people that we do know. Now we'll go to a segment of the show where we hear from people that we don't know. It's called Half Star, 3-Star, 5-Star. Half Star, 3-Star, 5-Star. All right, so these are reviews from Letterboxd.com. We start with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a film. We go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a film. And the half-star review, I think I'll read as maybe Joe Pesci. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Do you live here? Are your parents home? Are your parents home? No. Are your parents home?
Hey, kid.
Hey, kid. Hey, my gold tooth. This movie has two plots. One, horror movie, except you are not rooting for the protagonist. Two, childish gags that are extremely unfunny. Call me a Grinch, but this is my second... This is my second least favorite Christmas movie of all time. That sounded nothing like Joe Pesci. But hey, I want to know what the least I know.
Right. Yeah. My second least favorite.
We're getting bent out of shape from your second least favorite.
Do you think it's worth writing that something is like your second least favorite. No, it's not, because we don't have reference point. Right. What's the first?
So I think there's this thing that people say called main character energy, where you feel like you don't have, this is big main character energy to me. Yeah. You got to explain.
Right.
3-star review says, what 8-year-old in 1990 seizes the opportunity of being home alone with a VCR to watch circa 1940s film noir? I gotta agree. Like, even if I knew there were like machine guns in a movie, there is no way I'm watching a film from the 40s as a 9-year-old in 1990. There's no way.
I never thought of it like that. I always thought of it like he knows he's not supposed to watch this movie, and so he puts it on, and that's what draws him in. Like, he had no idea it was a movie from the 40s.
So I'm curious, is this the movie that he was referencing earlier when he said, Uncle Frank won't let me watch the movie?
I think so.
Because if so, even less of a chance that all of those kids are in the room watching this 40s gangster noir?
Well, probably not Fuller.
True. Maybe it was just Uncle Frank.
Yeah. It probably was just Uncle Frank.
5-star review says, it is literally a perfect movie. This movie means so much to me that it made me switch from unsure business/creative writing major to film and media major. And you know what? Because of that switch, I went and I've worked on film sets, and now I have a career in television. So thanks, Home Alone. You changed my life.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's a great review.
When I pull these reviews, I'm not always just trying to make fun of the person. Sometimes I really want to bring out like a movie like Home Alone to some people. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
Not for me, though.
Because it's all about you, Seth. Let's bring it back to how you hate Christmas. This is going to be a great month, y'all.
So we're going to rate the movie, either a schmovie, a movie, or a film, 1 through 5 stars, recommendations. Take it away, Michelle.
Okay, so to me, this is a movie, and I'm rating it 4.5 stars.
Whoa,
This is a very... I love this movie so much.
Okay.
It reminds me of growing up with Sam.
Okay.
And I think it's a great movie. I feel the length is fine. The soundtrack and the score are iconic. The story, as we talked about, like every question you have, it's answered for you, whether it's ridiculous or not, plot-wise. And it's just really fun to watch. And like I said, it's this and the Santa Claus is probably like my two most quotable movies that Sam and I will do to each other. Yeah.
I think that this is a movie, and I think I'm going to say 2.5 stars. A big... Michelle's losing it.
I can understand a lot of your 2.5 ratings. I totally can. This one, I should let you finish speaking. I'm sorry. I was very rude. I was a Kate Hudson right now.
Oh no. Oh no. Poor Kate Hudson.
Poor Kate Hudson.
A lot of the 2.5 is for just the practical stunts. I disagree with Ebert. I think that the end part is well done. I think it's funny. Definitely, that's what looms large in your mind as a kid, you know? I saw a lot of people saying, like, I thought that the home invasion part was the whole movie, and it's like the last 15 to 20 minutes. So, yeah, the other, big things for me would be, like, just Macaulay Culkin, like I said, doesn't veer into being annoying. Some of the family stuff, I feel bad saying this, but I feel like Catherine O'Hara is kind of wasted in this movie. Like, we know how great of an improviser she is. We know how funny and, like, dynamic she can be. In this, she's really selling just, like, one emotion. Understandably for the story, but, good for her that she was in this, I guess I'll say. But I don't necessarily buy this coming from her, which seems mean, but I just mean, like, I want more. If you're going to put Catherine O'Hara in a movie, I want more.
Right, utilize her.
But yeah, 2.5 for me means that I like the movie. Doesn't mean that I dislike the movie. That's me liking a movie.
I have a feeling, I'm going to say this now because it's the beginning of the month, that all the Christmas movies are probably 2.5 for you, -1. And I have hopes that one of them is a little higher.
Well, we'll see if your theory is correct next week when we talk about a movie that I'll announce after our commercials. Hey, listener. Did you like this episode? Have you listened to a few of our episodes and thought, I'm going to come back. I like these guys. I like these guys. Well then, we'd love it if you give us a rating and a review wherever you're listening. It takes 5 seconds. It makes us smile. And, you know, in these dark days, who doesn't want to make us smile? You, if you're not giving us a rating and review, you're a sicko. Please stop being a sicko and just do it.
A sicko, Seth.
Well, they're sitting around thinking, I'm getting enjoyment out of this, and I don't want Michelle to smile. That's sick. You know what else is sick?
Yeah,
not sending us an email. This is a weird.
Very
this is
sick.
A weird.
This is.
Path
Let's keep going with it. Sick.
Just send us an email. How many emails are you sending a day? How many are you receiving? Come on. We get an email from you guys. It lights up our whole life. You know, we say we will continue on. We'll keep going because this person sent us an email. So that could be you. So do it. We don't care what it's about. Also, hey, this is the season, you know, for spreading the love. And how do we spread the love as Americans? That's right, money. You can support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Michelle is losing her mind. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. $5 a month gets you access to 4 additional shows, our patron-only Discord. There's a lot of cool stuff. But more importantly than all of that stuff that you get, you help us support the show, pay the bills, and keep the lights on, and do cool, fun stuff. And what's better than that? You're going to go give that money to McDonald's. They don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? Michelle, how are you feeling?
I get great enjoyment of listening of you do the spiel and what you come up with every week. This one was a little...
This one was angry and a little...
This was very angry. It's 7:30 in the morning. I'm going to give you that.
Pretty judgmental, honestly. That one was crazy. But I think maybe it's because I had in mind what our next movie was. Now, I am excited for our guests for the next episode. Can I say? Yes. Should we say? Should we not say?
Yes, I think we definitely should say.
Next week, we're going to be joined by some real fake people. Why do I say that they're fake?
Oh my God.
Because we are getting visited by some jolly old lads from merry old England. Michelle, you want to take it away?
Yeah. My friends Simon and Dom from the Ravens TV and Movie Podcast are joining us next week. I very much know they're real.
Yes.
Seth doesn't believe British people are real.
So I will have either egg on my face next week.
Right. Right.
Or not.
This should be an interesting episode. I am looking forward to it. It's also a new situation because you've never seen the movie, Seth.
Yes, and it's a movie that I have started probably 4 times, and I get very not far into.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm really not excited, gotta say. Okay, anyway, enough.
Do you think they figured out? You think the listeners have figured out what we're talking about?
I don't know, man. This movie is divisive, I will tell you that
It
much.
is divisive.
People hate this movie. Or they're like, no, this is wonderful, and it makes me cry.
Right, or it's their favorite Christmas movie.
Next week, we're going to be talking about Love Actually, directed by Richard Curtis, who we have seen before for About Time.
Oh, I was like, that name is familiar to me.
It's 135 minutes, okay? This movie is over 2 hours long. Yikes-a-rooney. And it's currently streaming on Netflix.
Yikes.
And you have seen this?
San Francisco treat. Yeah, I have seen it.
Yikes-a-rooney, the San Francisco treat. Okay.
I have seen it, but I will say it's not my favorite.
Okay.
And I don't revisit it often.
Okay.
So it's been years since I watched it. And in Michelle lore and world, that means Michelle's never seen it, pretty much.
Maybe I'll record some pre-watch thoughts this week.
You should, but you've seen it. Well, yeah, you should because you've only. How far have you gotten every time?
I have no idea. Well, we'll save it. We'll save it. The people don't care. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks
to everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Till next week.
Here we go. Holiday month.
We need a little Christmas.
Right this very minute.
All right. Well, until next week when we're talking about Love Actually. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Music by Anthony Pecora. If you like the show, please subscribe and give us a rating. It really helps us find new friends. Thanks!